Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tried and Tested today. Today we have a special guest. We have my homegirl, Jillian. Hi, Jillian.
Hi. I'm happy to be here, just to let you know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And Jillian is a friend I have actually from college, and we actually met when we tried to join a fraternity together, not a sorority.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we are women, we tried to join a fraternity, and so we've been cool ever since. Jillian, do you want to say anything about yourself, or?
Sure. Well, my name is Jillian, as you already know. I'm 30 years old, living in Brooklyn, single woman, and I'm just glad to be here on the podcast to get my views out to the world.
Well, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you. And so just to jump right into it, today our topic is turn-offs and turn-ons when it comes to dating. So one thing I would say is that obviously in this day and age, there are probably a lot more turn-offs than turn-ons because we have a lot of single people out here. And so I just want to get into it. So what is something, well, first of all, what is your definition of a turn-off when it comes to a man that you meet?
A turn-off. I think it's something that, a turn-off actually is probably something that makes you look at the person differently. When you're turned off by someone or something, sometimes you can get over, but sometimes it's something that, like, keeps popping up, and it makes you kind of disinterested, or it aids in, like, your disinterest with that person or towards that person.
Okay, all right. So something that just kind of makes you, okay. So I know that there was a topic. Yeah, yes, definitely. And I remember there was a time when we were having a conversation and we were talking about the men that we have met before that actually did not make any moves. So obviously you have had that instance before, but I feel like that is something that is considered a turnoff when you meet someone and you guys exchange contact information and you guys, have, you text and things, and it's kind of like you're building some sort of relationship, and then they never plan a date. So what are your thoughts on something like that?
I think that probably, like, now that I'm learning more and I'm gotten a little bit older, I just take it as a sign of, like, disinterest, right? Because if a man is not, like, making plans with you, trying to make plans with you, like, letting his interest be known, then I just take it as that man is probably not that interested in anything outside of whatever it is that we're doing, So, I mean, years ago I'd be like, oh, okay, so, but now I'm thinking, just reflecting on it, it's like the guy's not that interested in you, because if a man is interested in you, he's going to want to take you out. He's going to want to try to set up time to spend with you. So I think it just speaks to their interest.
Okay. No, I definitely agree. So when you say that you feel like the man is going to try to spend time with you, does that include planning group dates? If he invites you out with a group of people, like I've had that happen before. Well, actually not to me. I'm lying. Look at me. I've heard that has happened before where, like, let's say the man invites you out to, no, I have heard of it. Like, okay, so a man invites you out to ladies' night because he's going to already be there. That's not really a date, right? So therefore it's kind of just like what you were saying as far as not really trying to make the effort. And he's probably disinterested. Yes.
Right.
Okay. So
I agree with that.
All right. So, what about lying about your age? Is that a turnoff to you?
You know what? That's never happened to me, as far as I know. But that would be like if I met somebody and they're lying about their age. I think that's kind of creepy. But that has not happened to me. That has never happened to me.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right. So, excuse us, guys. So, I was gonna say, have you ever met any Africans? Because I feel like a lot of African men, they tell you like all types of random ages, and I'm not really sure if they tell you that because maybe they think that you're younger, and so they want to kind of match up to your age or what. But I feel like I've heard that a lot, and then later on they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. And it's like, yeah, because that's a turn on to me. I feel like
It would be for me, too, and I haven't dated a lot of African men, or I don't think any African men. No, I haven't dated any African men. So this is, like, new for me. Like, hearing that, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. And I think maybe not the ones that are born here, but, yeah, I feel like I've heard that a lot where people are just kind of like, oh, I'm 32, and really, like, Muhammad is 40. Like, come on. So that's definitely something that I've noticed. And I feel like, okay, so what are some things that men have specifically said to you that may have been a turn off?
Oh, wow. Well, for one, I think the biggest thing for me, and I don't know why, is men who are too clingy too soon. So, like, you go out on a first date, and this has happened to me, like you go out on a date or two, and they're already talking about you being their girlfriend. Like, for me, I know some women like that, and, like, that's, like, the argument I've gotten from men as well. Like, I've never had a problem, like, with doing that before because most women want to be in a relationship. But for me, I'm like, for you to just meet me and want me to be your girlfriend or want to be with me every day, I just find that to be such a turnoff. And I just think it's the clinginess. Like, I'm not I believe in space and, like, personal time and, like, so I value, like, individuality and being an individual even when you're in a relationship. So when people are, like, on a first date talking about how they might want you to be their lady, I'm like, wait, we just know each other for 3 hours.
But I feel like when people say that, and I agree with you, like, I definitely think that that's being thirsty. But I feel like it's one of two things. Either the man is super, like, controlling, or the man is full of nonsense, and he's just saying it because he feels like that's what women want to hear. But I definitely agree. Like, that is, ew, like, that's definitely a turn off. And then also, I feel like one thing that I would say that I think is a turn off, when I hear someone say, well, when are you taking me out? Like, I literally I've heard it before. Like, I thought it was a joke, but I don't really know. But I've heard it before when I think this man asked me, like, where I live. I don't know where I work. I'm sorry. And we were talking, and he was like, oh, then you should take me out. And he was so serious. No. Yes. And he was really so serious. And so I kind of felt like that turned me off completely because it's like, aren't you embarrassed as a man? Like, I don't know.
Not a lot of them are that embarrassed. Not a lot of them have too many issues with being embarrassed. Yes, but I would be, but no, they're not.
Yes, I definitely agree. All right, so my last question, I think, for turn-offs is is it a turn-off if you meet someone who does not live, who doesn't live alone or who has some really shady living arrangements?
I think, so I think this is too multifaceted. So I know, like, being a millennial, that nearly everybody who lives on their own has at least a roommate, right? Like, and I'm 30 and I have a roommate, and that's not uncommon, especially living in Brooklyn, especially living in New York City, period. Like, if you don't live at home, it's probably a really good chance that you have a roommate, or you might have several roommates. So I don't think meeting guys who have roommates is problematic for me, but I think the shady living arrangements, like, can't come to their house. Like, I've heard a lot of stories, like, about women who are dating this guy, like friends of mine, and they can't go to their house, or they can't see where they stay. Like, I think those become, for me, like, shady. Like, okay, well, why can't I, if we've been dating for a few months, why can't I come into your space? Why can't I come into your house? If you get what I'm saying? So it's like, the roommate thing or living with people is not problematic, but I think the hiding where you live or who you live with, honey, because I've heard that too. They, like, on the market dating, but they live with their wives. So I think that becomes the, like, okay, that's the turnoff. When he's dating a guy and you can never go to his space, he never invites you over. And these men will invite you over if they have a mattress on the floor, a futon, a basement apartment. They really don't care. They don't. So when you meet men who don't want you in their space, to me, that's like a red flag. That's like, okay, no. That would be like, no. So, yes, for me, that would be a no. We couldn't date anymore. That would be that.
No, I definitely agree. So, wait, like, but what is up with these people who have mattresses? I'm sorry, wait. Like, but people don't have no box springs. They don't have no headboard. And I'm not. It's not to be shady because I feel like we all have different arrangements and things. But I do feel like that is, it's not that it's a turn off, but I feel like it's like, okay, sir, like what's good? Like how much did this mattress cost you, or this air mattress cost you? But I feel like women are more maybe in tune with decorating their apartments or setting it up to be, something more like a home than it to just be a mattress on the floor. So that is definitely funny. And okay, so yes. All right, so definitely. Okay, what about turn on? So when it comes to these mans and them out in these streets, what are things that you have seen that you feel like you're like, oh, okay, like that's a turn on. Like, I might want to see where this goes.
Well, a big thing for me, because it's one of my turn offs, so the opposite would be a turn on, is men who do what they say they're going to do. So I'm not into guys who are like smooth talkers and like who tell you what they want you to hear. Like I want someone who tells you something, and if they say they're going to do something, they do it, no matter how big or small it is, right? So even if it's like something like, for instance, like this guy I was talking to, we had been talking about this book I wanted to read because I'm like into the law of attraction. So we were talking about The Secret, and so he was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get that book to you because I'm like, I don't have a copy. I would love to read it. I was just saying, I wasn't expecting him to get it from me, but I was just putting it. I was just like, talking about it. And he was like, I'm going to get that book to you because you seem like you're really interested in it. I'm like, yeah, that would be so sweet. Thank you. Honey, if he got me the book, you got me the book. I never saw the book. But and that's not the point that he didn't. Honey, I just ordered it off Amazon for myself this week. And it's not the point that, he didn't have to get me the book. But the fact of the matter is that he said he was going to do something and he didn't do it. Like the whole thing, turn on for me, just the short of it would be follow through. So you say you're going to do something, whether you're asked to or not, right? And in this case, he was not asked to do anything, but he offered. And a lot of them do that. Like they're like, oh, I'm going to take you out. I'm going to do this. We could do that. And they don't follow through. And I think that's, so for me, a huge thing, how I measure a man, and is his follow through. Like, does he do what he says he's going to do? Like, so I think that's very important for a man to have that kind of like integrity and have follow through, like be a man of his word. So yes, for me that is a big turn on.
Okay, and that makes sense though. That makes sense. So someone who's actually genuine and someone who, like you said, follows through with what they say they're gonna do. And I feel like whether you are a man or a human being, period, like I feel like that's something that is appreciated, like being honest and being true. So that definitely like is a good thing. I feel like for me, when I meet somebody, a turn on or something that I like is when someone actually takes the time to get to know who you are. Some people, they just they don't even have like people skills or social etiquette to kind of really find out who you are, or maybe they don't care. I don't know. But someone who I feel like genuinely has an interest in getting to know, like, who I am, what I like, what I don't like, I feel like that's definitely something that I feel like would be considered a turn on, So
definitely.
Have you ever had an instance where perhaps someone, was able to do things that were able to turn you on, I guess, not turn you on like sexually, but able to do things that you kind of gave the green light, and then they kind of just flipped the script, like they just changed it up? Has that ever happened to you before?
Wait, what do you mean? So they were doing things that were like turn-ons and then they just stopped?
Okay, so let me give you an example. So, like, I had an instance where, like, I met this guy, and it was, like, we went out to eat, I think, like, 2 or 3 times, and, like, it was cool. Like, he was a nice person. But then it's just, like, his demeanor just changed, and he did end up being married, okay? But so many people, they out here, they playing. But it's just, like, so someone who, like, they may have all the characteristics that would, be like someone that you would want to be in a relationship with, and then they just completely like flip the script and they just kind of change up. Has that ever happened to you before?
I think so. I think that does happen when people like they're very like open with you, or they get like have these deep conversations with you, and then all of a sudden it kind of like stops and it ceases. I mean, I think that definitely does happen in the dating world, and I think that is one reason why people are so guarded, because you don't want to open up too much emotionally, and then the person, you don't know how long they're going to stay around, right? So I think that does, yeah, I feel like that's happened pretty recently. Like, you know, like you'll chat with people, talk to people, and they're like telling you their deepest, darkest, you know, issues or like whatever, opening up a lot. And you're like, okay, this person is vulnerable, you know, emotionally available, open, you know, ready for love. And it turns out, you know, not really. So I definitely think that that does happen, and it does unfortunately cause us as daters to be way more guarded with ourselves when the person doesn't stick around, you know, or can't stick around for whatever reason.
Okay, all right, that definitely makes sense. And then, so I thought about another turn on. I just remembered something that I not remember, but something that I like. I like a man's man. I like a man that, like, obviously, like, I don't want you to be my boyfriend on the first date, but I like a man that he knows his place, he knows his role. He wants to come and pick you up in his car because he has a car. He wants to take you to a restaurant that you can both agree on. You guys can enjoy your meal. He can pay for it. And it's just like, you know, like you just feel like a woman no matter what you have in life and what you don't have. So I feel like for some reason that is always something that, like, making a turn on, I guess, would be like making me feel like a woman. So that was just something that I thought about. Yes, there we go. That's the word.
Like, okay. Like an old-fashioned kind of guy who takes care of his business. Yeah, I could see that. I'm interested in that.
But is that old-fashioned?
I think some of it is. I think some of the things that, and I have to always like reevaluate myself. I'm like, maybe I'm an old lady. I'm just too much of an old lady for these kind of guys, because a lot of them don't have that. And I don't know if they weren't taught to be like that. I don't know culturally. You know, I don't know everybody's history and background, but, like, a lot of guys are not men's men, like you were saying, you know? Like, they want you to take the lead, or they feel like you should approach them, or they feel like you should go half on dates. And it's like, okay, there's time and place for that, but the first day is, honey, the first day is not the time or place for that.
Wow. Yes. No, it definitely, that's a whole nother topic, but I would definitely say that's a turn off to me, only because, and I feel like a date is not super expensive if you know you're a modest person, especially for a first date. However, I can take myself out to eat. So therefore, I'm not going to take myself out and you be in my company and you're paying for yourself and I'm paying for myself. That to me is an absolute turn off. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. So I do have another question about turn-ons and turn-offs. Have you ever been on a date with somebody or even met someone or been speaking to them and they were, like, questioning you? Like, they were asking you, like, 21 questions. Has that ever happened to you before?
No, because that's probably me asking them 21 questions.
Okay, all right. Well, that does lead me. No, that no, that is a good, like, it's good because I feel like there are women. I know women who are like that. Obviously, you said you're one as well. So what do you think that women do that are turn-offs for men?
What do women do that are turn-offs for men?
Yes.
As far as just dating?
Like, whether you're getting to know them or you're dating or whatever. Like, what do you think is a complete turn-off for a guy that women do?
I think it could be, like, being too clingy too soon, requiring too much attention, requiring too much of their time, like kind of being demanding, especially if you don't know them well.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not too sure because I'm not a male, but I could just imagine, like, someone who's too clingy, trying to, like, overly insert themselves into your life.
Yes.
I think that could be a turn-off for men. I mean, you know, like, different things. And I think also we live in such a fast-paced society that, like, everything comes to us so easily. And, like, dating, like, the dating apps, like, you can have someone in less than 24 hours, right? You can meet someone in less than 24 hours using dating apps. So I feel like they have everything is at our fingertips. So I feel like, and men are such visual creatures that I just feel like once they get bored with one, there's another, coming down the path, down the road. So, but I definitely think being too clingy, being too demanding, maybe if you're seem like a little bit too high maintenance, that would be a turn off for some guys too. Especially demanding as far as money, you need to do this, you need to buy me this, you need to take me here, those type of women and those type of demands I could see being a turn off for some of these guys.
Yes, I definitely, that was what came to mind, even when I had the question, was that women who are asking for money, off jump, I need diapers for my baby, I need to pay for a babysitter, I need this, I need that, and I'm just okay. Right. So that could definitely be a turn off, and it seems the episode actually ended up being more about turn offs than turn ons, but that is the dating world we live in. With millennial dating, there is a lot of questions and concerns and things that people don't like. So, but I guess that kind of wraps up this episode, though. And I just want to thank you so much, Jillian, for
it was my pleasure.
Thank you for definitely taking the time out and giving us your insight and allowing us to explore your mind when it comes to turn-offs and dating. So if anybody wanted to contact you, what is your Instagram handle?
My IG is at JillyBaby718, so JILLYBABY 718.
Okay, fellas, so she is single, and she's in Brooklyn, and she already told you what she does not like, so therefore, hit the girl up if you know. Okay. But no, thank you so much. And until next time, guys, tune in.